No, I don't, and it's one of those things I just don't, because let's face it, how do you get kiln-dried logs? I mean, you just can't. You don't have access to them. You let them dry as much as you can, but even there, we know those logs are wet in the end. And this is my crucial deal. This is what I've come up with in the course of 40 years. As much as possible, I mean, I'm not using kiln-dried wood. I'm cursed, I know, but that's just the way it is. But I'm aware of the nature of wood. We know it cracks. We know it shrinks. So go with it. Try to decide and design your pieces in such a way that the center is out of them. You know, that's my whole theory about wood art at this point. Try to get the center out of the log. I do that by seeing the circle. I work with the circle on the big shape. I don't look at the log as a one single mass. I see it as a big circle. Get the center out of it. Design it so the center is out of it. All my pieces move, because that's how you can move in a circle. You gotta move. You know, it's all about the nature of wood to get away from the fact that it cracks. I'd be wrong about that.
I agree with you, but I just think that it should
divide the hours into the price, then they decide whether you're worth 50 or 100. Or
yeah, I gotta say that there's some truth to that.
There was a carver that did fireplace mantles, and he always told people, I budget 100 hours for that carving. You're not lying, but
yeah.
you don't tell them that you only did 20 hours. You just tell them either you don't keep track of the time because it's not important, or that's not how you price it.
It's art.
Just, you don't lie to them, but you don't tell them the whole truth.
Well, in the end, we're all trying to stay authentic, you know, and it's really important to be authentic. And I lie less and less, truthfully. Don't ask her, she'll tell you the difference. That's Anastasia, by the way.
Isn't that, speaking to the point that you made in the very beginning,
and I'm really enthralled with that now in my own personal career.
Does that describe the dimensions on this, or could you
I think it does. And,
it's huge.
Are we on it? So this is a piece I did this in 2008. I went down to Belize. That's where the wood was, mahogany trees. It was 16 feet high by 10 feet wide by 24 inches thick. And that's the thing that we have to understand here, 24 inches of relief carving. And hopefully this will come out. And it was the Revelations was the subject, the seven-headed, 10-horned dragon. What a great subject that was, you know, to be able to carve a dragon on a church door was pretty cool. And are we getting anywhere now?
You might have to click on focus.
Oh yeah, this little video back together just to have something to show you guys. This is mahogany. Sound, there's no sound.
Alt-enter.
Skip, if you put the microphone right down by there, that'll work.
One of my, if not the masterpiece that I've produced in my career. An extension. Well, where does this go? Religious art that dates back
Right there.
to the 1400s, particularly Renaissance. Artists as Michelangelo, Donatello, Garibaldi, and Robar, they all worked for the church. Little Renaissance art in Florence.
You're getting feedback from that speaker behind you.
I mean, I love this stuff. I went to Florence. I love their classical realism that they did. There's some church doors and whatnot that they did. So this is my version of the Revelations, chapter 12. We got Archangel Michael battling the seven-headed dragon. Mary's Church in Boise, Idaho. These are going to be the front doors of the new cathedral.
That's in Idaho?
Yeah, Idaho. There we are in the church installing it. The doors weighed 4 tons when I started. Those are the logs that... This tree grows in Belize. It's the mahogany tree. And in Belize it's called the tree of life. It is on their flag. It's the prime tree. Each timber took a 48-inch log to create one of my timbers. To export. The timbers went to the actual jungles, saw the trees. They were damaged by hurricanes. The door is composed of... Aren't those great trees? That's mahogany. And the total weight before it was brought in was over 4 tons. The door's size is 16 feet high by 10 feet wide. I do believe that's one of the biggest doors I've ever seen. I've traveled to Europe and Italy and Florence, and I've never seen anything quite like this. Certainly not League. There's my little sketch. Express. Starting the piece. That's an act of faith when you're starting a piece like that. That old chainsaw was roaring. I'm up on a scaffolding. I'm kicking back. We all know kickback, man. It was something else. I fell off of that scaffolding on a regular basis.
Big release like that's really tough because you're pushing that wall back.
Good and evil. The evil represented by the 7-headed dragon. Michael and the dragon are fully engaged in this battle, but Mary is above the fray, looking down on it with equanimity and compassion in her heart, which is to say, though we are engaged in the battle and the outcome is uncertain, the only way you can really win the battle is to transcend it in your own heart and hold love and compassion for all that is here on this plane of reference. That's my theme statement, I think. This is the interior of the door, so it's carved on
You speak
both sides.
good art.
Outside, I speak good art. Basically 20 inches of relief. And I left a little bit left over when I carved that side so that I would get the interior door carved also. This is about 3.5 inches on this side. And this side depicts the classic Christian tale of Noah's Ark and the flood. This side represents our earth as we know it. Now, what's interesting about this is that you're seeing a big Now, people say, oh, what's the 8? But what I wanted them to see immediately is the Modius line, which is infinity. And in my sense, the God and the life force is the infinite. So, what
Was
this
that
door
the side also
represents
the one with the
symbolically
chainsaw?
What's that?
Was
Is
that
that
the
life
side also?
yeah, everything changed. And the interconnectedness of the animals themselves convey that. So, interwoven, representing that no life is solo and separate. Everything is part of the fabric of life. And as the fabric, we move in the great infinity symbol. Oh, don't you love that? Fabric of life, move in the great infinity. This is the masterpiece that I produced in my career, and this was finished for my 60th birthday, and there's something significant about that connection. A monumental piece of art that will outlast my own lifetime by hundreds and hundreds of years. It's a good sensibility about one's own personal age, agelessness of great art.
Little technical question, what type of glue did you use on that?
The glue. The glue is a really, it's all technical in the end, isn't it? You know, we talk blah, 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 but in the end it's how you do it, how you put it all together, that process. While I was in Belize, you know, it took me 2 weeks to get the wood, assemble the door. It took me 2 weeks to carve what you saw there, and then it took me a week to crate it and ship it home. So that was a 2-week process. The rough out on that, and that's busting my butt pretty much. And there were stories about falling off the scaffolding. Can you imagine I'm up on this little scaffolding with a chainsaw, 16-inch bar, this big old chainsaw, and it kicks back.